Apart from stating its geographical location on Earth, is there anything you can tell me about this country right here? Other than being located in Central Africa, most people, including myself, know absolutely nothing about this country. It is one of the most unknown and least talked about countries on Earth. But by the end of this video, you'll know everything there is to know about this country. Well, as you've guessed from the title of this video, the country in question is in fact the Central African Republic. So let's start off with some quick fire facts to introduce this mysterious country. So of course, the Central African Republic is located in Central Africa. It is a landlocked country and borders Chad in the north, Sudan in the east, the Republic of Congo and the Democratic Republic of Congo in the south, and Cameroon to the west. The capital city is Bangui, whose population isn't far off 1 million. Their official currencies are the Central African CFA franc and Bitcoin, believe it or not. $1 is equivalent to around 600 Central African franc. Their official languages are French and Sangao. The population of the country is around 6 million, making them around the 38th most populated in Africa and the 113th most populated in the world. The country is a pretty decent size at 623,000 kilometers squared, making them the 21st largest in Africa and the 44th largest on Earth. Larger than Ukraine, but smaller than Somalia. Their flag looks like this, one of the most colourful and eye-catching flags I've ever seen. Around 3/4 of the population classify themselves as Christian, followed by Islam at 14%, and then the rest of the population just follow traditional beliefs. The GDP of the Central African Republic is just $2.8 billion US, meaning they have one of the weakest economies on Earth. For reference, $2.8 billion US is what Amazon made in revenue every 2 days in 2022. So in 1889, France established French Equatorial Africa, what is now known as the Central African Republic. But then in 1960, the Central African Republic gained independence from the French, becoming its own sovereign nation. Today, the country is ruled by a president. He has ruled the country since 2016. Now, I can't verify this, but Wikipedia actually states his salary, which is just over €3,000 per month. Now, that sort of salary living in France would be average at best. However, in the Central African Republic, this makes him incredibly wealthy. The average citizen in the Central African Republic earns just €74 a month, so less than $1,000 a year. Whilst we're talking about the wealth of citizens, let's take a deeper look at the people of this country. The average life expectancy is just 55.5 years, the third lowest on Earth. The fertility rate, aka the expected number of children born per woman, is 4.4, the 15th highest in the world. Around 40% of the population is under 14 years old, with just 3% over 65. For reference, 30% of Japan's population is over the age of 65. There are more than 80 ethnic groups in the Central African Republic, each with its own language. Around 50% of the population belong to the Baya Mandija ethnic group and 40% to the Banda. In the Human Development Index, the Central African Republic ranks as the 4th lowest. It is without a shadow of doubt one of the most undeveloped, poorest countries on Earth. Alright, so let's now take a look at the country's geographic profile. As mentioned earlier, the country is landlocked and found in the heart of Africa. Geographically speaking, the Central African Republic consists of mainly vast savannas and dense tropical rainforests. It has a very varied terrain that includes plateaus, mountains, and river valleys. The Congo Basin, which is the world's largest carbon sink, stretches slightly into the Central African Republic, where you'll find amazing animals like elephants, gorillas, and leopards. In terms of climate, the Central African Republic has a tropical climate with distinct wet and dry seasons. The rainy season typically occurs from April to October. During this period, the country receives significant amounts of rainfall, which can actually lead to flooding. The dry season usually takes place between November to March, distinguished by hot and dry conditions. Temperatures in the Central African Republic can vary depending on the region and the season. In general, temperatures tend to be high throughout the year, with average temperatures ranging from 24 degrees Celsius to 29. However, the northern part of the country is generally hotter than the southern. Mount Ngawi is the highest point in the country at 1,410 meters tall, which is around 4 times smaller than Africa's tallest peak, Mount Kilimanjaro. As previously mentioned, the Central African Republic's economy is incredibly weak. Its value is only around 2.8 billion US dollars. The majority of the population relies on agriculture. However, the country also has rich natural resources in the form of diamonds, gold, and uranium. The majority of the population also lives below the poverty line on less than $2 a day. Its biggest trading partner is France. An estimated 90% of Central Africans do not have access to the internet. Only around 30% have mobile phones, and less than 1% actually have bank accounts. Yet for some reason this undeveloped nation decided to make Bitcoin legal tender, which doesn't really make sense considering the population's lack of internet infrastructure and use. So overall, the Central African Republic is a very fragile nation that certainly has a long way to go in terms of developing its infrastructure and giving its people a better quality of life. Its unlucky geography, political instability, and small population means that substantial growth will likely not come anytime soon. If somehow these hurdles can be tackled, then the Central African Republic does have potential to significantly improve its citizens' quality of life, as it sits on an abundance of natural resources and oil. We hope you enjoyed learning about this rather unknown nation. Let us know if you'd like us to do more types of these videos. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you very soon in our next video.